Let's get stuck in. Hi, welcome to this very special VIP webinar today. I'm absolutely thrilled to be joined by James Griffiths, who is the founder and owner of Wild Training. James has been in the industry for a while, and he's a fantastic, phenomenal fitness professional with a wealth of knowledge. You're going to get a lot of value from this session today as we explore the world of James Griffiths. So with no further ado, James, welcome.
What an intro, man. Appreciate it, James. Yeah, thank you for having me, man. Really excited to chat to you guys and yeah, explore some ideas about to what we do and maybe how we can add some value to what your PT coaches are getting involved with.
Amazing. That's amazing. I mean, we've known each other now for a little while, and I've
Yeah.
had a little bit of a window of insight into your world. But let's go to the start, James. If you can sort of start from the beginning,
Mhm.
how did you get involved in health and well-being?
It was one thing. I mean, I was below average at everything at school, and certainly in terms of fitness, I was not that athlete. And I think there was little things, along the way where I stole my brother's dumbbells when he went to university. That was my into exercise, bench pressing on my bedroom floor, not knowing what I was doing. And you do these things and your friends, like we were all the music geeks at school, right? So they started asking to come and exercise with me, and then I became a snowboard coach. And I think that was my first insight to my love of coaching, even though I didn't think about it like then. For me at that point, it was my love of snowboarding, but I love teaching it. And that was great. And then I had to become an adult and get some proper jobs and tried a million different things. And I ended up being a car salesman. And I sold a car to a lady who did a course in sports massage therapy. When you're like, yeah, that sounds more fun than my job,
Yeah, yeah.
And I went to at the time it was a Premier Training, one of their open days, and so they talked about their diploma in personal training and sports massage therapy, and all these memories of me coaching my mates came back to me, and I was like, they asked me to coach them, and I was like, you get paid for that? So I was like, oh, cool, this sounds really fun, and so I just dived in, I quit my job and did that full-time diploma,
Yeah.
and never looked back. But it was one of those things that I'd never felt like an academic kind of guy. And on the personal training course, people were asking me if I had a photographic memory, because I just kept remembering everything I read and obviously found my passion.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
all of a sudden, I entered the fitness industry and I got all this new information. I knew so much more than when I was on the bedroom floor with my brother's dumbbells. And I loved it. And I loved reading and I loved doing it. And then I took away from my practice of that study and kind of said that worked, but that worked better than that. And I think, maybe the more creative background I came from and freestyle snowboarding and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not very good at staying in a straight line. So I guess my programming quite quickly became a little bit more creative, and I was very lucky early doors to have some great role models and inspiration given to me. People like Peter Twist, I was so inspired by. He's a great strength and conditioning coach from America, and Peter Dwyer, and there's Ian O'Dwyer. There's some great guys
Yeah,
out there
yeah.
that I was introduced to, and I just started gaming the programming, and I started seeing better results. But I think I was one of those guys that came into the fitness industry. There's probably two things that I think quite early in my career I realized was that I didn't quite get the straight line gym industry, in that there's a load of treadmills and there's a load of
Mm,
machines and there's a load of benches and dumbbells, and none of it looked that fun. I was a silly snowboarder, so my life was all about having fun. And the other thing that came to me quite quickly, I think, within the job on the gym floor was I didn't connect with group exercise particularly quickly. I saw the same people going to the same classes and looking the same for ages. And as
yeah,
educators, you learn about periodization as a personal trainer and structuring, general adaptation syndrome in 6 to 8 weeks and all that jazz. And then you have the group exercise guys going, oh, it's great. We do a different workout every time. And you're like, one of you's got to be wrong, right? And obviously my eyes have widened since those days of right and
yeah, yeah.
wrongs, but certainly like the the way my career went, I worked in lots of different styles of commercial gyms, which was a great experience. And then soon enough, left with one of the kind of gym managers. We set up a personal training studio, as so many personal trainers aspire to have their own space, their own gym, their own vision. And while training was our group outdoor exercise service for that personal training studio. And what I realized quite quickly was I didn't need a studio to do what I was doing at that time. And again, I had a lot of personal training clients, but you start to realize, and for me, it was important to deliver some amazing value for these
Of
people. I
course.
didn't just want them to come and train with me once a
Yeah.
week. And with the best intentions, you can do the programming and you say, do this at home, do these gym workouts, and they don't do them.
Mm.
So I was like, how am I going to get these people doing 3 amazing workouts a week that are structured, that are periodized, that force the endurance athlete, weekend warrior to do some strength training, to force the strength athlete to do some SAQ training.
Mm.
And that was what wild training was. It literally started as a boot camp group outdoor exercise service that was based on 4 phases of training. It was that simple. And so I offered something like 7, built up to like 9 sessions a week. And you could turn up to any 3 of those sessions, but we did the same thing. It was
Yeah.
like we're gonna do this style of workout
The
for two
blueprint.
months.
Yeah. The
And there'll
blueprint
be
is
little
there.
variations, but that was the focus.
Yeah.
And they got amazing results. And all of a sudden I kind of felt like I'd bridged that gap for me in making group exercise work kind of closer to how personal training works,
Of
but
course.
made it more affordable. But obviously, from my business's perspective, helped me scale that to more people. And now I was helping more people. I got a better reputation. More
Yeah.
people were talking about the Wild Training brand and my style of training. And then we started to franchise it, which was great. And we created this lovely, I suppose, bridge between what a level 3 personal training course is, and I think what all coaches want, which is that
Mm.
that that edge, isn't it? It's that cutting edge. I want to be at the forefront of what's not just trending socially, but what we're understanding about the exercise physiology, the science, and the fun of
Yeah.
coaching and the experience that we can give our members, whether it's personal training or group exercise. And so
100%.
that worked really well. And yeah, the franchise we grew kind of across the country. And it got to the point where we just started to understand a bit more about scaling education. So we actually kind of stopped franchising because I thought we could do a better job. So they carried on under different brands and carried on their group outdoor exercise businesses because I wanted to build a gym. And what we did at that time was buy a gym in High Wycombe. So that's where I'm based, kind of just west of London.
Yep.
And it's a great popular activity. I think gyms in our area, we've got about 20 gyms in our town, and lots of different types from the budget big box commercial chains to much more premium gyms, £200 a month memberships to, the more independent gyms and CrossFit boxes and everything in between. And it was the most rotten gym in High Wycombe. I'm sure of it. When I bought it, it was one of those weird. It just looked so strange, and the selection of equipment was so strange. And there was about 70 membership prices going on, and some people were paying cash. And I
You had the
gutted it.
vision. You had a
Yeah,
strong vision.
I did, man, and I wouldn't have bought it if I didn't have that. And
Of course.
that's certainly something I'd give to any personal trainer's advice is you got to have a plan
Yeah.
because it is competitive. But we gutted it, and we found the right people and coached them, trained them to deliver that vision, and I think inspired them to see value in the vision. And fast forward to 2020, and we got voted the best gym in Buckinghamshire, so our county. And then 2021, the lockdown happened, and we were very quick to understand the digital service and keep that level of not just excitement and fun, but community that we had through our online classes
Yeah.
instantly. So I mean, lockdown, shut your gym. What was that? Friday, March 20th. I mean,
Yeah.
literally nearly 4 years ago now, right?
Etched in your mind. Yeah, absolutely.
And by Monday, so what was that, the 23rd, we were running 7 online exercise classes a week with automatically panning and zooming cameras. The experience the members got was exceptional. And so we ended up doing, seminars on how to deliver that kind of
Yeah,
service
yeah,
for the independent gym owners group. And they voted us the best independent gym in the UK. So it's been a ride, man. And obviously, like everybody else in the industry, your PT's got an amazing story as well about, lockdowns and coming through that adversity and being smarter and stronger and a bit uglier for it. But I think certainly it's a really exciting time for the fitness industry. And
I
for
agree.
our brand, we've done good. We've done good for a lot of other trainers. And my I guess excitement now is to share it. We've got a great gym here, and it was
Yeah,
based on a couple of cool ideas that are very scalable. They're very easy to share. They're not what the status quo of, I think, fitness coaching or fitness industry CPD type education is. But there's a market out there that's huge for
yeah,
personal trainers.
yeah,
And it's, I feel, in a big way, untapped because we keep kind of banging the stick of hit training and bodybuilding and maybe CrossFit functional training and maybe yoga and Pilates and spinning. But we've been banging that stick for a while, and then we still got about 85% of our country that's not listening. And, I want to make the country a healthier place. All of us started this because
yeah.
we had a passion for people and a passion for health. And we know there's so much more to it than a six pack and losing some weight. That might be what they ask me for, but I'm going to give them a better quality of life. I don't care if I have to
Absolutely.
beat it into them, right? And I think that starts with having some fun, having fun for us as personal trainers.
Definitely.
And
Yeah.
that's been proven now in our wild training model, I think, to create a successful business as well.
Yeah, that's amazing. I think you've given us a great insight there, James, into you as an individual. It always intrigues me where that fire was lit. So things like the snowboard, the association with sport, that's where the passion comes from. But then you were savvy enough to identify where your skill set was in the sales element and things like that, and apply it to something that you really enjoyed. Loved your observation around group exercise. And having worked in health clubs, I totally know what you mean. That front row in the group exercise class, they never change. And we're all about results. So, I mean, applying that community with results, I think is key, which is great. And obviously something you endorse through while training. So I think you've given a great insight there into, while training the fundamentals, what you aim to achieve, the fact that it's different, it's
Mm.
hyper relevant to the industry that we operate in. And I think sometimes CPD can be a tick box exercise. But this is giving trainers something tangible that they can go into their gym and deliver and get results from, which is incredible to see. And I guess on that kind of point, a lot of our trainers these days, they talk about scalability. Okay, so for me, there's a big difference between scalability and versatility. So perhaps they want
Mm.
to do something different, or perhaps they genuinely want to scale their business.
Mm.
And with your sort of business hat on and your ability to spot, kind of, commercial opportunities, where do you see the big opportunities for personal trainers these days in the current climate that we're working with?
That's a great question. And I think obviously, no doubt you speak to 10 super experienced, successful, fitness professionals, I'll probably give you 10 different answers.
Yeah,
Because the landscape that we're in, I think with the economy, with the awareness of mental health challenges, the awareness of the country's health, our trajectory is going down. We're becoming less healthy as a country. So I think there's a lot of different ways of interpreting the industry stats, the country statistics
mm,
as well. And no doubt, I think there would be a few consistent things, and there is absolutely a trend and I think a commercial opportunity in people seeking health. So I
yes,
joke about 90% of people come into a gym and they say, "Oh, I want to lose weight and tone up a little bit," and they're not now. They're not. And what's interesting is they're almost not saying anything. They'll come in and they'll say, I want to feel better. I need something
yeah,
different. I need a change in my life. And I think sometimes trainers interpret that well. And I think a lot of time trainers interpret that as I better do the same things I always do. I think the job's changing, and no doubt, you've done it long enough to know that sometimes you feel like a life coach to some of these guys
yeah,
because
yeah,
we're their petrol stations. They're going to come in with some negative energy. We're their escape. We're their outlet from their peers at work or their family at home. And I'm going to take the bad stuff off them. I'm going to use exercise as an arena to send them away with some really positive energy.
Yeah.
So that's how I see the job now. You know, it's very different to how I saw it, 15 years ago or whatever.
Yeah.
So I think in terms of opportunities, that versatility word that you pulled out is so important because you don't know who's going to walk into your gym.
Yeah.
And if all you've got is some understanding of functional training and maybe some understanding of bodybuilding, powerlifting, resistance training, and some ideas of mobility, they've seen that. And especially post lockdown, more than ever, what you're seeing are consumers, our customers, they're better read, they're more aware, they're not idiots. And I
Mm.
think as a fitness industry, to regurgitate, recycle similar trends over and over, you're gonna get found out. And I think as a personal trainer commercially, what that looks like, we've spoken about something like the average retention of a personal training client is about 4 months. Now, that means a personal trainer needs to replace their entire business 3 times a year.
Yeah.
It's exhausting, it's expensive, emotionally, that's tough as a personal trainer. And it's a great job. And then you maybe come to July and all your really affluent clients go on holiday. Now, if you don't have a plan about scaling your business to be more robust, I'm not necessarily interested in earning loads of more money, but I want to earn my money consistently. And that's
Yeah.
certainly something I
Yeah.
think some trainers struggle with. So, we've all probably seen a million gurus and mentors talking about scaling your business online. And I get it, but I didn't get into the job to coach people online, and it's a lot more work than you think. And
Yeah.
what's happened since lockdown is the opportunity has really shrunk because there wasn't that many good online coaching services available, and there was a lot of people looking for them. Now there's a lot of people already in them, and there's an awful lot of online training
Mm.
services. So
Mm.
it's a bit of a red ocean. There's the sharks have already eaten all the fish, and somebody's trying to find the next fish. And I'm thinking there's a big blue ocean over there with wonderful, colorful fish that nobody's looking at helping because they want to feel better. They want better health. They want to enjoy their exercise
Yeah.
session rather than
Yeah.
feeling melted by some sort of like military style, attack of a boot camp kind of session. They just want to come in and have a highlight to their day, So I'm going to send them up in the aerial silks and treat them like we're training for this Cirque du Soleil, or I'm
Yeah.
teaching them about Indian club training so I can sort their shoulder pain out while teaching them a skill. I'm going to throw some MMA pad work at them so they feel like they're having this amazing workout, this great cardio session, burning fat, toning up, developing their movement. But they're learning, they're having fun. I'm distracting them with, all these kind of skills. So to me, the tools, it's almost less about this is going to create this really specific result, this tone, this kind of specific kind of maybe outcome, and just make sure I make them feel better. And I think what that changes is who we market the gym or the personal training service to, because I can market my services to everybody, not just the 15% of the UK population that has a gym membership.
Mm.
But I go, hey, I'm going to make you feel better today. I might make you more productive for your really high pressured sales job. Or maybe, rather than feeling stressed at home with your kids, you can have an hour to yourself. Bring your kids to my gym, and I've got like a little soft play thing that they can mess about in, or if they're big enough, they can join in,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and make it a family event because there are loads of people out there that
Yeah.
would benefit from personal training, but they have
Yeah.
a really misconception of what personal training is. They think I'm holding a clipboard, shouting at them to do one more and telling them to,
Absolutely.
eat more protein and less carbs.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's not the job. And I think, well, the more we work as personal trainers to show people that we aren't the car salesmen of the 90s trying to sell them an online training program again and again and again. But actually, I care about them. And when they understand how much I care about them, they start to understand the value in what I know. And
Yeah.
I'm not sure that people really care about how much you know until they know how much you care, you
Yeah.
know?
And you've got to be consistent with that, James. And every time I speak to you, that jumps out immediately. The fact that you care, you care, and you've created this community, this bond with your clients, and you'll go the extra mile. You're in the trenches with them. You're supporting them every step of the way. But I think the key threads there, and we often forget as fitness professionals, is have fun. This is a fun industry. It's a fun environment, and your clients need to be having fun
Mm.
on a regular basis to come back. Um, and to have that personalized approach as well. And I love what you do there. The sky's the limit. Whether it's capoeira or calisthenics or MMA. You're integrating and entwining these passions within the experience of personal training, which is phenomenal and very unique, because we do walk the country. We're in over 500 gyms across the UK, and we do on occasion still see the PT leaning against the desk on their mobile phone and things of that nature. And it's just the perception to the wider audience then it's just negative. Um,
Yeah.
but
And I think sometimes, you know, rather than being like me thinking, oh my God, I'd hate that if that was one of my personal trainers in my gym. I always think, why? And I think that's somebody that's probably a little bit bored,
yeah,
and certainly it can become repetitive if we don't innovate ourselves.
mm,
So if I want to be more successful as a trainer and I want to have an easier time getting new clients, acquiring new clients, and I want to have an easier time retaining those clients, if I innovate myself and I can offer something that nobody else can offer in my area, it's a really easy start to a conversation. And then for us, it's like, come down and let's do a really short commitment. Like train with me for 1 week. And if you
yeah,
hate it, you've lost nothing.
yeah,
And every time it works because I guess you get to that point where you back what you're doing and why you're doing it for that person. That sounds to them refreshing because they've been on YouTube. They've seen the online classes through lockdown. They've gone to other
yeah,
gyms. Maybe they've tried other personal trainers. And if they have done all those things, great. And if they haven't done any of those things, they still will have maybe these misconceptions, these false kind of ideas about what you do as a job. And it's just like, well, you don't know what I do as a job, but I'll show you. Come down,
yeah,
and I bet you love what we do. And it's really hard for somebody to say no to that
yeah, yeah.
because it's just an opportunity, isn't it,
Of
to
course it
feel
is,
better.
James. You're backing yourself, and we endorse that. We offer a consultation, free consultation, show the experience, and wow the person in front of you.
Mm.
And it's hard to walk away because you're given an opportunity then to change your health, for the better. But I mean, if I'm a PT watching this webinar, you've got me hooked by you, Jim. So yes, I'm signing up for earning more, having fun, taking my business to the next level through scaling it. So what I'm really interested to learn about is how do I learn more from you? How do I get involved? I know you've got the affiliate scheme. How do I get involved in your program and
Mm.
move my business forward via, the training methods that you have in place?
Yeah. Okay. So my entire, I guess, passion since starting working with trainers has been education and seeing where the practical, valuable stuff is and where it's not, and maybe where there's a lot of padding. So over the years, certainly we've seen so many trainers achieve success, and we've seen plenty of trainers miss the mark and not achieve what they wanted out of the career. And so you start to put together this model of everything that works and everything you just don't need to worry about. And that's what the Wild Training Affiliate is. And I think affiliate models are just brilliant for the fitness industry. And you look at some great examples like CrossFit, obviously, is a huge
Yeah,
affiliate.
yeah,
And you look at High Rocks, huge affiliate. And all you're doing as a trainer is you're going, I'm going to bring some of that success into the service I can deliver to my clients. And so the Wild Training Affiliate is this evolution of everything I've learned from every trainer and every member I've ever spent any time with to share. And I think, again, you talk about the inspirations of one of the reasons I quit car sales was I loved cars and I was good at the job, but I hated how the industry was very insular in this terms of like everybody's paid on commission. So even like, the engineer who's maybe prepping the cars is on like a, kind of commission kind of basis. And nobody worked together. And that really, I was like, that's crazy. Like, let's run a dealership as a team because if I sell more cars, you're going to have more clients to then service cars of, right? And there was just never that collaboration. And I think so early on in my career, I wanted to work with personal trainers. I think we talk about community all the time in the fitness industry. And then I think about the UK's community of personal trainers and how insular we are as self-employed personal trainers sometimes,
mm,
and how we don't seek out other trainers to teach us and to teach. We all have amazing experience. Once you've done this job for a decent amount of time, everybody's got lessons they can learn from each other.
yeah, yeah.
And I find trainers are so threat centric. I don't want to teach him what I've got because he might nick my client, or somebody
Mm,
who might have become my client might go to them instead. but I really want to learn about that thing he's got because I feel like I'm, a tier below because I don't know how to do pad work or something, and I hate that. So the whole wild training brand was like, look, I don't know everything, and no one person is ever going to be better than a team. And that's what the wild training kind of idea was. Let's get trainers training with each other again. And the affiliate certainly that evolution. So we've put everything down, and then all of the best people I've ever worked with. So I mean, AD Sharif is in terms of mindset coaching one of the best in our country. He's one of our education partners. And then you got people like Mike Naylor. Now I can't even talk to you about who Mike coaches because it's all top secret, but he's the best sports nutritionist in our
Yeah,
country.
yeah,
He does our education content. And then you look at somebody like Andy Hudson. He does a lot of our strength and conditioning kind of content
yeah,
for our affiliate partners to learn from and make some of the most technical training accessible to personal trainers
yeah,
to learn about and apply to their clients. So we've tried to bring together this amazing network of not just people within fitness, but you know, sales leaders in 9 billion pound kind of companies. So
mm,
tell us about sales, but from your end, and what can I learn from you? And then media content creators from award-winning film and director kind of positions saying, hey, how can we make our online content look cooler? And all of this is part of the Wild Training Affiliate, and I've never seen anything like it. So for me, it's very exciting to share
yeah,
this with all of you guys. So your PT now has access to everything I've ever learned, except you guys don't have to go through all the rubbish that I had to decide was rubbish, and give you such a more concise, succinct
yeah,
kind of education platform. What the Wild Training Affiliate is essentially online resources that you can see via computer or an app, and this is a mixture of written text, video text, assessments make sure that you can secure that information. Do you really know it? But then we don't just leave it obviously online. We give people so many of these resources online because it's accessible, and you can learn it in your own way at your own speed. But then you come and train with us. So a
yeah,
big part of the Wild Training Affiliate is exactly what I've just said to you. I want trainers training with each other. So every single month we're running education sessions here, courses here, and they might be foundational wild training fitness certifications. So that's like a certificate that says, cool, you've learned our language, you've learned everything that I think is really
mm,
important as a coach. And to me, that's almost the foundation of what we do. So if you think of, the level 3 PT qualification is I passed my driving test. I don't think any of us thought we were good drivers at that point. I feel like the wild training fitness certificate is like maybe an advanced driver's
yes,
course. It
yes,
just
yeah,
takes you a little bit further into the depth and variety that's out there. And then we have our courses. And as you say, this is the more specific stuff. So this is high speed pursuit driving. So this is learn about Indian clubs and the value in them, or learn about MMA pad work, or strongman, or aerial silks, or I mean, it's all on the website. I'm sure we can send out a link,
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah,
it's a lot of fun. And it's different. It gives you a USP. It gives you more value, not just to that prospective client that you've got to win, you've got to acquire over maybe some of the competition in your area, but it gives you the edge in terms of retention as well. Because what happens when that clients come to you with a goal and you've achieved it? The way I would model a journey for that client to retain their health and enjoy managing their health daily, because we know that's what it takes,
mm,
consistency, right? Is I'm going to get them so excited about the next thing that why would they leave this service? They're not with me anymore because they're still fat. If all my trainers were still fat, I'd be in a lot of trouble. So now they just train with me because they just like my training. They
yeah,
just like having that time with me, and they like learning new skills and seeing how their body can change, their fitness can change. They can drop a bit of this, they can get a bit of that, and it never gets boring. And exercise changes then. It becomes like, you know, kids. Why
yeah,
do kids have playtime at
good,
school?
yeah,
They're not there for a goal. They're not even really there for an outcome. There's some social stuff, but it's like throw them into a playground, and randomly some of the kids will go on the climbing frame, and some of them will play tag, and some of them will do the hopscotch thing, and some of them will find a ball. And I think of it like that. Like, let's go and kick the ball, right? And I think what we really want to give people, I think, as personal trainers now is not that tangible, I need to do a transformation for you, Because what happens to you as the coach when you've done it?
Yes,
Yes, they're going
absolutely.
to get fit. We all know this. If they turn up and they work hard, it doesn't matter what type of exercise we do. I think we need to get rid of that. My type of exercise is better than yours.
Yeah,
It's all great if we coach it well, right? Yoga can be incredible. Spinning can be amazing, right? It's all valuable if we coach it in the right way
yeah,
to the right people at the right time. And that means that exercise becomes something that's just part of their lifestyle, like a Sky subscription for TV. We pay that every month because we think it's valuable.
yeah.
People pay me every month because they think it's valuable. It's not just because I give them, more tone that month.
Yeah.
It's not just about the tangibles.
I love it, James. It's fantastic. I'm glad you paused there because we've only got a few minutes left to wrap the recording. But what I've got from that is the education you get through while training, it influences the length of stay of your clients, which is vitally important when you're running a business as a self-employed PT. Now we pride ourselves at your PT of giving versatility in terms of education to our PTs. And for those PTs tuning in to this session, we're really pleased to announce that we've secured 10 funded spaces on James's Wild Training affiliate program. So be putting this out to applications for people who are interested in getting involved in this process. And then we'll be contacting those individuals with the spaces available. So there is a long journey ahead of kind of reciprocal relationship here between Wild Training and your PT. We're extremely proud to be partnered with the guys, James and the team. And as a side note, James will be presenting at our Level Up event on the 22nd of February at the Twickenham Stoop. So if you haven't got your tickets already, get them in because they're selling out very fast. But James, on behalf of the company, really thrilled to have you on the call today. Thank you so much for your time and for your energy. And we'll speak again soon.
Mate, it's a real privilege, man. And yeah, man, congrats to your PT as well, because what you guys are doing in the fitness industry is great. And yeah, no doubt this opportunity for us, your coaches, is going to be really exciting, man. So looking forward to it.
I agree. Thank you so much. Take care.